1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All of it.
One of resistance.
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Rebellion.
Rebellion is built on hope.
And redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Reactions, episode 61 to be exactly. We are going to have some fun tonight and going to be discussing more of Star Wars Visions. We're going to got a lot of news for you, and it's just going to be an all-around fun-filled show. My name is Aaron Harris, and I am sweating in the lava pits of Mustafar. Joining me is my pal, my friend, and he is hopefully not suffering the fires of Mustafar, the David Motters. David, brother, how's it going?
I am doing well. I was going to say I was on Hoth, freezing, but I'm not because I'm in Florida, and it's still pretty warm here in October. So, but better. But no, doing really good and ready to react, and looking forward to covering our part 2 coverage of Star Wars Visions.
Excellent. Now, the question is, though, do you have air conditioning?
I do. Are you not?
I don't.
Oh, jeez.
Our AC went out this afternoon. For those of you who don't know, I live in Florida as well. I just live a little further south than David. And our AC went out, and it is now as hot inside as it is outside. And Mustafar is cooler than this. I would kill for Hoth right now.
No doubt. No doubt.
It's all good. We're going to have some fun talking Star Wars. You and the family doing good, David?
We are doing good. I muted the microphone because my dogs were barking there for a second. You might hear them. They're a little excited here tonight, I think. I'm not sure why. My son was outside shooting baskets, but I don't know. The leaf drops and they start barking. But, you know, are they doing okay, Bean?
Yeah, Mom just got home.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's my wife. That's why they're barking. So that's a good thing. But no, we're doing good. Just got Lena from ballet, and Eli's shooting baskets, and I'm recording with you. And so family's doing good. How about on your end, brother?
Well, besides sweating like we're in Tatooine, we're all good. We're excited. If you follow me on Twitter, you know we got some housing issues going on. We're having to move, and we just found out today we have somewhere to move to, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And so here in the next month, I will be packing up the luxurious Star Wars Reactions Lakeland studio and relocating it to another part of Lakeland. So we are going to have some fun. I'm enjoying it. It's an exciting time. And if the air wouldn't have gone out, we'd be even happier. But, you know, we take our wins and our losses and smile through them. So
Right. We've both gone through this before with hurricanes. It's no fun.
Exactly. At least with this, we still have electricity. We still have fans going. Whereas with the hurricanes, you don't have power, you don't have fans.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So exactly. So, all right, well, let's go through there. We got a lot of news I want to talk about and cover because it is just awesome, the stuff that they've announced, and we need to talk about it. The first piece of news was actually announced today. It's called Bring Home the Bounty. This is a merchandising initiative that Lucasfilm is doing for Star Wars. And it's great. It's going to be how they're going to be announcing new products, games, new books, new toys, collectibles. It'll all be centered around this. And it'll be taking place throughout the rest of the year. Every Tuesday from now through December 28th, they'll be revealing new items inspired by everything from the upcoming Book of Boba Fett, which of course will premiere December 29th, through The Mandalorian, the Skywalker films, the animated series, including Bad Batch and Visions, and a whole lot more. It's going to be great. It's just one of the ways they're celebrating Lucasfilm's 50th birthday. It's going to be great. And they did announce some things today along with it, which includes Star Wars Crocs, from a Mandalorian inspired Crocs. We got some Ahsoka, Grogu, and Mandalorian inspired sunglasses from Diff, a K2SO on Jeddah Amazon exclusive Funko Pop, Moroff, one of the rebels from Rogue One, and just a whole bunch of other things that are coming from Hasbro, some vintage retro collection stuff from The Mandalorian, and some clothing. It's really cool. So be on the lookout every Tuesday when they announce that. So that was today's announcement. So next week we'll have new stuff, October 19th, and so on and so forth through the month of December. So what'd you think? Did you see this when it was announced today?
Yeah, I was kind of following Emma Camden, because her book premiered today, Ronin, and I saw Michael Siglain, who is the big Lucasfilm executive behind the High Republic publishing initiative, and I saw his Twitter post, and it showed a lot of the merchandise that you were just describing. It looked like it was in New York City, the picture, and it was outside, and showed a lot of the merch. It showed that new book, Ronin, and so I saw some of the stuff that you were talking about. So I had a rough idea of it, but not a full, I just didn't have time today to really see what all of it was about. But I'm glad you mentioned it, and not only brought the listeners up to speed, but got me up to speed. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun with this initiative. It actually reminds me of something they did last year. Was it last year or the year before when they did this type of staggered release? I can't remember, but it was I think it was the year before, because I think last year we were all COVID hiding. So this is a new thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy it. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with. And hopefully nothing that's going to break the bank. So
right. They'll have stuff like lower price, medium, and the high price tag. Right?
Yeah, I always want the high price tag stuff, though. That's my problem. So anywho, so let's keep going. We got some more news here. It was probably the news that excited me the most this past week, was when they announced a new series of books that are coming out in 2022. They released 4 titles with synopsises of books that are coming out next year. And honestly, these books, for me, cannot come out fast enough. This is the first time they've announced books that I've been like, I want every single one of these. Normally I'm like, those sound good. I want that one. I want that one. And if I have time, I'll get this one. But this one they announced them. I read all the synopsis. I'm like, dude, I got to get all of these, all 4 of them. Because they look fantastic. And the first one will be coming out May 10th of 2022. This one is called Brotherhood, Star Wars Brotherhood. This is written by Mike Chen, and this is going to be awesome. This is going to take us back to the Clone Wars, as it follows Obi-Wan and Anakin as they try to stem the tide of the raging war and forge bonds as new Jedis. It sounds great. It's from the synopsis. It picks up after the incident on Cato Nemoida.
Oh, okay.
So apparently it comes here. Let me read the synopsis real quick. It says, after an explosion devastates Cato Nemoida, the jewel of the Trade Federation, the Republic is blamed, and the fragile neutrality of the planet is threatened. The Jedi dispatch Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of the Jedi's Order's most gifted diplomatic minds, to investigate the crime and maintain the balance that has begun to dangerously shift. As Obi-Wan investigates with the help of a heroic Neboidan guard, he finds himself working against separatists who hope to draw the planet into their conspiracy and sense the sinister hand of Asajj Ventress in the mist that cloaks the planet.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so this,
Yes.
So this is, whereas Dark Disciple is really at the end of the Clone Wars, the novel that was based on 8 scripts from the Clone Wars. Asajj is in that, and Dooku. And, Okay.
Yep. So this
I like
is this is great. And there's a little bit more to the synopsis. So it says, amid the brewing chaos, Anakin Skywalker rises to the rank of Jedi Knight. Despite the mandate that Obi-Wan travel alone, his former masters master's insistence that he listen this time. Anakin's headstrong determination means nothing can stop him from crashing the party and bringing along a promising yet conflicted youngling. Once a Padawan to Obi-Wan, Anakin now finds himself on equal but uncertain footing with the man who raised him. The lingering friction between them increases the danger for everyone around them. The two knights must learn a new way to work together as they learn quickly to save Cato Nemoya and its people from the fires of war. To overcome the threat, they must grow beyond master and apprentice and stand together as brothers. So this looks great. This I can't lie. This was the first one that I went, oh snap. When I read the synopsis, because sounds like it's going to be outstanding. And I'm curious. I'm extremely curious because you notice in there, it says, nothing can stop him from crashing the party and bringing along a promising yet conflicted youngling. I wonder who he's bringing along.
Are you talking Anakin?
Anakin, yes. Yes, this is Anakin's headstrong determination means nothing can stop him from crashing the party and bringing along a promising yet conflicted youngling.
Younglings come before Padawans.
Yes.
And Ahsoka was a Padawan. So what do you think? Who are you thinking?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know. But this is early enough in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That maybe it could be her.
Oh, maybe.
She may not have been elevated from youngling to Padawan yet. We will have to wait and find out, though. That one line piqued my interest more than anything. So with this book.
That's cool.
So that's coming out May 10th, 2022. The next book after that will be on June 7th, 2022. It's called Stories of Jedi and Sith. This is actually written by various authors. It's actually a compilation of stories, 10 stories actually. It's basically a middle grade anthology book. Okay. Looking at some of the saga's most popular characters from Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Asajj Ventress, just to name a few. But it's got a great list of authors here. We have Rosanna Brown, Sarwat Chadha, Delilah S. Dawson, Tessa Gratton, Michael Kogi, Sam Maggs, Michael Morsi, Alex Segura, Vera Strange, Karen Strong, and everything is illustrated by Jake Bartok. So this just seems like it's going to be fun. A series of essentially short stories.
I wonder if this is going to be, and I'm looking at all my Star Wars books in front of me right now. I wonder if it's going to be like Stories of Light and Dark. And there was a Clone Wars one that you and I both got.
Mhm.
The audiobook was great because it had Sam Witwer reading, as Darth Maul. James Arnold Taylor did some. And it seemed like the same grade level, that kind of
Yes.
description. So I wonder if it's kind of that one was focused on Clone Wars stories. If this one is more like spread out, like the description you gave. So
Yeah.
sounds similar
Well,
in that, does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. That's exactly how I was picturing it. Was like that book, with just 10 short stories, and stories in there that are just going to expand on the character. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'd really be interested, especially seeing what stories are in there when it finally gets released, how they work out the audiobook. Because like you said, with the Stories of Light and Dark, they actually had various people work on it, including James Arnold Taylor, Sam Witwer. Kat Tabor did one, didn't she?
Cat, yes, I was just going to say Cat
I was gonna
Tabor
say.
as well. Yes.
So there was a lot of great stories in that, and phenomenal performances. So I'm kind of hoping for the same thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, agreed. I hope for the same thing. Those kind of voice actors.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next on the list is a novel that will be released on June 28th, 2022, by Adam Christopher. This is called Shadow of the Sith. Shadow of the Sith. All right. And here is the synopsis. The Empire is dead. Nearly 2 decades on from the Battle of Endor, the tattered remnants of Palpatine's forces have fled to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. But for the heroes of the New Republic, danger and loss are ever-present companions, even in this newly forged era of peace. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker is haunted by visions of the dark side, foretelling of an ominous secret growing somewhere in the depths of space on a dead world called Exegol. The disturbance in the Force is undeniable, and Luke's worst fears are confirmed when his old friend Lando Calrissian comes to him with reports of a new Sith menace. After his daughter was stolen from his arms, Lando searches the stars for any trace of his lost child, but every rumor only led to dead ends and fading hopes until he crossed paths with Ochi of Bestoon, a Sith assassin tasked with kidnapping a young girl. Ochi's true motives remain shrouded to Luke and Lando, for on a junkyard moon, a mysterious envoy of the Sith Eternal has bequeathed a sacred blade to the assassin, promising that it will give him the answers to the questions that have haunted him since the Empire fell. In exchange, he must complete a final mission, return to Exegol with the key to the Sith's glorious rebirth, the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself, Rey. Ochi hunts Rey and her parents on the edge of the galaxy. Luke and Lando race into the mystery of the Sith's lingering shadow and aid a young family running for their lives. So it sounds like this is filling in the gap between Last Jedi and filling in the gaps from Rise of Skywalker.
Right. It is interesting because Lando talks about this, in The Rise of Skywalker. Billy D. Williams himself. It's almost like I keep going back to J.J. Abrams when, it wasn't talked about a lot, but it made its rounds through the interwebs that J.J. asked for 2 movies. And we all know that got squished into one, Rise of Skywalker. And, this could be stuff, that could have been in there, but it could be a lot of fun and, fill that in a little bit more in terms of what happened. I have to admit, I'm not as interested in this as in the Brotherhood one you described, and then the last one that we'll go over. But I have some interest in it, but not as much as, like I said, Brotherhood by Mike Chen or like I said, when we talk about Padawan in a minute.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about this one?
This one actually has got me very interested because I want to see the story, because, there's always stories, they release these movies. There's always holes in them somehow. And then of course they have books that fill in the gaps. So I'm interested to see how this fills the gap and explains things that happened that got him to that point, that got us to Rise of Skywalker. So I'm very curious, honestly, and don't. I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for saying this, and I love y'all. Just understand, it's how I feel. I really am curious to see if this is going to enhance the story told in the sequel.
Well, it'd be interesting if it does, if when time material can, if it can do that, or if it won't,
It definitely, I mean, I feel that it can. There's always going to be other material that enhances something else. I mean, like when I watched the Clone Wars for the first time, it changed completely how I felt about Revenge of the Sith. It changed my entire outlook on that. So it's, there are things that come out that can do that. So same with books, for me, it was the Thrawn books, or even the Master and Apprentice was a phenomenal one. Bloodlines changed everything about how you looked at Leia in the sequels. So these things have the potential to enhance the story and make them better, I want to say. And I think that will, and I'm very interested to see if this actually succeeds in doing that, which is why I'm very interested in this. And don't get me wrong, people, don't get me wrong. I did enjoy the sequels. Okay. Everybody has their own thoughts and opinions, and I love and respect everybody's thoughts and opinions on it. But for me, I thought they were good. I thought they could have been better. I thought there was a lack of continuity, but that's a discussion for another time. But they were good movies, and I'm hoping this will knit them together in a way that it makes them more coherent. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. And you got me thinking about something, and I was going to look back and see when you and I did an episode of Star Wars Reactions. We looked at the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker. And I was just thinking back in my mind's eye, that's by Ray Carson, some of the stuff that she put in there. And that it made me enjoy the story more, the things that she added. It wasn't a ton, but some of it. And so, yes, I do think that Shadow of the Sith has the opportunity to do that. I hope it does. I'll get it on. Well, I'm game, so yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. Let's do it. All right. Well, we have one more book, and I will say this is probably the one I'm most excited for. Okay. This one will release July 26, 2022. This will be written by Kirsten White, and this one's called Padawan. You heard David refer to it earlier, but this is called Padawan. And what intrigues me the most about this is who it's about and how it is set. So let me just read the synopsis, and y'all, and then we'll share our thoughts. The synopsis is this: Obi-Wan Kenobi really wants to be a good Padawan, the best Padawan even, but that's feeling more and more impossible with his new master, Qui-Gon Jinn. All of Obi-Wan's friends are off training to be real Jedi, getting mission experience, while he is still on Coruscant, practicing his forms and sitting in silent contemplation. Ever since Qui-Gon's former Master Dooku left the Order, it felt like Qui-Gon has been too busy trying to connect with the Force or arguing with the Jedi Council to properly train, or to excuse me. Let me start that sentence over because I got tongue-tied. Ever since Qui-Gon's former master, Dooku, left the Order, it feels like Qui-Gon has been too busy trying to connect with the Force or arguing with the Council to properly train his Padawan. When Obi-Wan Kenobi finally convinces Qui-Gon to take him on a mission to a remote planet once explored by ancient Jedi, his master doesn't show up the morning that they are to leave. So Obi-Wan impulsively takes off by himself. Upon arriving on the mysterious lush planet, he encounters a group of teenagers with no adult supervision, and who all seem to have connection to the Force. Free from the constraints of the Order, Obi-Wan joins them in their daring adventure, but the Padawan side of him keeps questioning the teen's strange relationship to the Force and the verdant planet around them, and what it all might mean to his future. Obi-Wan will test the limits of his relationship with the Jedi and to the Force with this exciting yet soulful exploration of one of Star Wars' most enduring heroes.
I'm with you. This is the one I'm most excited for. And the first thing I thought about was Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. And this is going to be before that. It has to be, right?
Yes. Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah.
Because this is saying he's never left the planet. He wasn't on a planet, hasn't been off the planet for any missions. He's just gotten his Qui-Gon as his master. He hasn't been. So this would take place prior to Master and Apprentice.
Yeah. I'm, and in fact, I've been wanting to go back and listen to my audiobook, Dooku Jedi Lost, and how that has Qui-Gon. Like, kind of listen to that, listen to Padawan, and then I actually have the physical copy of Master and Apprentice. But if it's anywhere near Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray, because I do love the interplay between Kenobi and Qui-Gon, then I'm in, man. This is the one I'm most excited for. Out of the ones they've announced, this is the one I'm most excited for, like you.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really looking forward to this one. Because it's probably the one that's got me scratching my head the most, especially when they're talking about him basically going rogue. He's basically being Anakin.
Right.
So,
right.
Which I'm interested to see, because it kind of changes your perspective of him when he's trying to deal with Anakin. You're like, dude, that's what you did.
Right.
It's like, do as I say, not what I did. So
yeah, that
it'll
comes
be
up
interesting to see.
It comes up in the Elder, one of the ones we're going to cover here, episodes 5 through 9 of Visions. It does, and so I just want to throw that in there real fast. But
excellent.
I will explain.
Well, that pretty much wraps up our news for this week. And be on the lookout for those. Those books are on pre-order now, so hit up wherever you pre-order your books, whether it's your local bookstore or whether it's on Amazon. You can pre-order those if you are interested. I already did. So I'm looking forward for those to start arriving. So, all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into our actual discussion today. But before we do, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with our discussion of the last 5 episodes of Visions. Hang around. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Aaron and David here, and we are having our second part of our discussion of Star Wars Visions. We're looking at episodes 5 through 9 tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this discussion. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look. We have the next episode on the list, if you're looking at them in numerical order on Disney Plus, is The Ninth Jedi. It was written by Kenji Kamiyama and also directed by Kenji Kamiyama. Basically, this episode is about the daughter of a legendary Jedi lightsaber smith who is pursued by dark forces. The next episode after that was TOB1. TOB1, written by Abel Gongora, directed by Yuichiro Kido. And this one was about a cybernetic boy who dreams to one day become a heroic Jedi. And he discovers a secret about his creator's past that threatens their once peaceful existence. Dun, dun, dun. The Elder was up next, written by Masahiko Otsuka and directed by the same guy. This one, of course, is about a pacifist Jedi and his restless Padawan who pursue a dark presence to a small village on an outer rim planet. The 8th episode, entitled Lop Ocho. No, I'm sorry, I got to stop right here and say something. I find it ironic that Lop and Ocho are the 8th episode of Star Wars Visions, because Ocho is Spanish for 8.
Right. I don't think that was a mistake. Yes.
It just, the irony in it is beyond me.
Yeah.
So So this is the 8th episode, Lop and Ocho, written by Sayawaka and directed by Yuki Igarashi. And this one, of course, is about a powerful patriarch who clashes with his eldest daughter about confronting the encroaching new empire. And last but not least, we have
Akakiri.
That's it, Akakiri.
Akakiri.
I was saying it really good before we started recording, David. Seriously, I really was, because I was going through practicing all these names, and I just butchered that. Akakiri, written by Yuichiro Kido and In-Young Choi. This one, of course, a Jedi returns to his forbidden love to help her defend her kingdom from a Sith-like shogun. So those are the 5 episodes we are looking at tonight. David, what were your initial thoughts when you've watched these first 5 episodes?
Yeah, I think for these 5 shorts, I feel like this set, it has one that stands out to me. Generally, it might change in my mind's eye, but generally one that stands out, and it's the Ninth Jedi. And I felt like in the first 4, 1 through 4, there was 2 that stood out for me. One was the duel, and the other one was the Village Bride. And those both really stood out for me in those first 4. The other 4 shorts all have little bits that I like, but none necessarily stick out above each other in my view. And that's generally just a quick synopsis of my of those 5 shorts.
Okay, perfect. For me, as I said last week, when we did our last episode covering the first 4, these were good episodes. These are good stories, but they're just not for me. I'm not bashing it or anything like that, because they are good. They were enjoyable and I watched them. But I'm not an anime fan, so there was no, I didn't, and so that it's odd for me watching that type of animation. But there's also the fact that there's not any kind of direct connection to the rest of the Star Wars saga that we, like everything else we've gotten, and I struggled with that. We got Rebels that connects to this original story. We got Clone Wars, which is in part of the original story. Even the standalone Rogue One connects directly into A New Hope. Solo connects directly. It's about one of the main characters from the saga. everything kind of meshes in. Resistance meshes right into the story. So these are all things that meshed in. And this series, Visions, it's unique. It's fun. There's some good stories. But there's just, to me, there's no, without there being that connection to the main stories, I found it a little lacking. So but that's just me.
Well said.
But I will say this, I am very glad they made these, because, this is how we get exposed to new things. And that's a good thing as well. So I'm glad they made these. I'm glad I got to experience Visions and watch these episodes, because it exposed me to new styles of animation, new storytelling, different creators, basically pretty much an entirely different culture than what I'm used to with Star Wars. And even though I said earlier, it's not for me. And even though it's not for me, I didn't feel it was for me. A lot of people felt it. And that is what I absolutely love about Visions, because it did connect with a whole world of people that, enjoy that anime and those designs and those styles. So, yeah. So there we go. So let's get into the same questions we asked about the first four tonight. David, what was your favorite short from episode 5 through 9?
Yeah, for me, it's the Ninth Jedi. I did go back. I watched it a second time. I enjoyed it so much more. I enjoyed it the first time. Felt it was the best one of those 5 through 9 the very first time, and felt that way even more so watching it again. I really enjoyed the idea of the wielder's heart, the wielder of that particular lightsaber, any of the lightsabers, and how their heart determined the color of the blade. Very cool. I really enjoyed seeing Kara, the daughter there, her lightsaber develop as she became stronger in the Force. And I don't have it in the show notes, but I did really enjoy the speeder bike chase that she was in as well. Little fun side note, I love that droid that flies her up to the Temple Observatory. He cracked me up. He was great. And so there's just a lot of parts of that. I have more than that I enjoyed, but for me, it's the Ninth Jedi, not even close in terms of any others for me. Ninth Jedi, my favorite of the shorts 5 through 9.
Okay, perfect. All right, for me, my favorite, again, with like you, was the Ninth Jedi. It was just hand down the best, and I would actually say it was probably the best out of all 9 of them. I liked it that much. It was the story in this was probably the most connected I felt to the characters and to the plot than out of any of it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they actually took the time to tell the story. This one was the longest out of all of them. This one was a 22-minute episode. And it actually was the longest. And so they took time to flesh out the characters a little more and make them likable and make you care about them and worry about them, while also telling a fantastic story that really, I can honestly say, I want to see more of this story. I want to know what happens to Kara and her new masters as they try to rebuild the Jedi Order. I think it's a phenomenal story and concept, and I think this would be great to see more of down the road. So Ninth Jedi, definitely my favorite from 5 to 9. And like I said, definitely my favorite from 1 through 9 as well. So
I hear you. I'm hard to argue against you. I really enjoyed the duel, and but yeah, I'm with you. This one's right there.
See, I liked the duel. The duel was great. It's definitely my second favorite, because just the way it was made and the looks, it just had that old samurai movie feel to it. And I liked that. But I didn't have that connection to the story that I had with the Ninth Jedi. which is why I put it a little over the top there.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, makes perfect.
So, all right. Now, unfortunately, we have to ask this one. What was your least favorite of the shorts from 5 through 9?
There was a couple that were pretty close for me, but for me, it's Akakiri. I know it's the one that's probably the closest to Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress and so on. I guess I need to go and just watch that. But the animation, I mean, like I said, you and I talked about it last week in terms of within anime, right? Within anime, there's various types of animation. Like you mentioned in the Duel, very different look than this. And for example, Tatooine Rhapsody, very different. 2OB1, right? Toby looks even different. So I just don't like this particular. I don't know what it is. It just looks like there just isn't the details that I'd like to see. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain it, but I know it feels a lot like episode 3. There's that in there, but I just didn't. I guess I just didn't dig it like the Ninth Jedi or the Duel or even the Village Bride. So for me, it's Akakiri.
You know, I have to admit, I never made that connection until you said it out loud. TOB1, Toby.
Yep, Toby. Yep.
As soon as you said that, I sat back in my chair and was like, "Oh my gosh, I am so stupid. How did I not see that?"
Well, no, yeah, like Toby, and he calls him, Professor. What's his name? I'm trying to keep all the names straight, but the professor calls him Toby, kind of like from a robot to a boy. But yeah. I have to be consistent with you, Aaron, and something that just I didn't pick up on it. There's so many details in all these shorts. I was listening to our good friend Jason Brame's podcast called "Waiting for Obi-Wan."
Yeah,
or forgive me, "Waiting for Obi," and he and his co-host Kim, they were talking. They're doing kind of like 20-minute little episodes covering each of these 9 episodes. A little different than what we're doing, but he brought up the droid in the Twins, the one that's out in space and has the helmet on, who doesn't really need it, but Am, the female Sith, a human doesn't. Yeah. We talked about that last week, but Jason pointed out that his name is, let's see, 2OBN, right? Is that right? No. It's
from Twins?
From the Twins, the robot, each letter or initial is just one before C3PO. So, right, so it's B, and then it's B, it's B2ON, right?
Okay.
Instead of C3PO, it's B2ON. C3PO. Yeah, there it is. I was like, wait a minute. Just like you said there with TOB1 and Toby, when Jason said that, I had not even thought about that or picked up on that when you and I covered it last week. I think it's because I just didn't like the Twins that much. But, just little plays on that. I just wanted you to know that don't feel bad. There's a bunch of stuff I've missed in these episodes as well.
Huh. I did not catch that either, but that is pretty stinking cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is pretty stinking cool. But what completely off subject, we're just talking about the stuff that's in there. In the one, the Elder, was it the Elder? Was it the Elder? Yeah, the Elder. Do you notice how the Jedi sounded like Han Solo?
Yeah, you mean the master, not the Padawan?
The master.
Yeah. That, you know who that is? That's David Harbour, who plays Hopper on Stranger Things, and of course Friday night I watched Black Widow because it became available on
That
Disney.
was good.
You're right, and he plays the Red Guardian. So there's the Red Guardian is master, was it Tajin, Tajin, the master to Dan. So yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was now that's completely off subject, but yes, I watched Black Widow Thursday. It was released Wednesday. I watched it Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
It was fun. I watched it Friday night. I watched it Friday, and
that was so good. So good. I was so worth the wait. I'm glad I avoided all the spoilers on it. It was so good.
Oh, me too. I didn't hear any spoilers. I mean, it's supposed to come out May of 2020, and so it's over a year since it was supposed to come out. And quick side question: the stinger at the end. Did they change it from what it would have been if it was released last year?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because there's someone who shows up in it who, let's just say, we see in the series, the short series Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we can talk about that later. But
in there, and that's that's a good question, because I don't know if they would have changed that or not, but with all the production delays they've had because of COVID, this could have been the plans all along. But because who knows? Honestly, who really knows?
But yeah.
So, all right. Back to our least favorites. You said
Akakiri.
Yeah, that one. The one I can't pronounce. That's the one you don't like. For me, actually, it was TOB1, Toby. I did not like that one. If the whole Pinocchio style story, I'm a real Jedi, it didn't do anything for me. The animation was just so cartoonish for me. It was, I had no problem getting up, and let's put it like this. I had no problem getting up in the middle of the episode, walking into the kitchen, refilling my water cup and walking back and not hitting pause.
Right.
That's how disconnected from that episode I was. So that is my least favorite.
Well, and I'm jumping in. You got to forgive me, but I said to you there was two that were pretty low. It was Akakiri and TOB1. I'm right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was both of those. I'm completely with you. Either one of those could be, my least favorite. Again, little bits I liked from Akakiri, little bits from TOB1, but again, you and I had set up a series of questions for ourselves, and again, the one I said and the one you said are right there for me at the bottom.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I will say this, and this is going to take us right into our next question about our favorite moments or aspects from episode 5 through 9. Even though TOB1 is my least favorite out of all of these, it actually contains my favorite moment.
Lay it out there.
And that is actually having TOB1 when he's fighting and he's just kind of laying there. He ends up seeing his master again in the world between worlds.
Is that confirmed that it's that, or is it kind of?
If it's not that, to me, that's what it is. That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
There's no confirmation on the website or anything like that, but you can't tell me that wasn't the world between worlds. That was pretty straightforward what it appeared to be. It just, because that's where he sees him. He's in his physical cybernetic boy form, and then all of a sudden when he gets knighted, he ends up looking like a real boy, which kind of killed the scene for me. But it was that, having that world between world-esque design, I actually enjoyed that, because there's not enough about the world between worlds out there, and I thought that just was a nice touch.
I like that.
What's your favorite, Dave?
Yeah, mine was It was the twist in the Ninth Jedi. I really thought that was really cool, and I mentioned it a little bit before with the blades showing what the wielder's heart's all about. I thought that was really neat, and I liked where, what is it, Juro, Margrave Juro, how he hides himself in the robot. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked Kara's father being a lightsaber maker. When he, it's a different take than Huang, right? Professor Huang, who guides the young ones to forge their lightsabers, after getting them on Ilum. I thought that was pretty cool. Kara's dad doing that. I have to say this. I did enjoy that Master-Padawan relationship in The Elder. You'd mentioned what he sounded like. I do agree. Yeah, there was a Han Solo-esque quality that David Harbour brought to that. But I did like the fight between the Master and the Elder. And it reminded me of the fight between Obi-Wan and Maul on Tatooine and how it was very short, right, in Rebels. And shortly thereafter, the discussion about how time or age won, right? Master Tajin, Tajin again. That's Then there's the Padawan Dan, very Earth name, kind of a little different for me there. But I really liked how the Master really kind of downplayed the victory, saying, time won, and how if that guy was younger, this might have been a very different outcome. But thought that was a very neat discussion on how age and time takes a toll on all of us. So I like how that ended.
Very cool. Very cool. Those are great things about that episode. Well said. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up and go into our final thoughts here. David, why don't you kick us off with your final thoughts?
All right. Yeah. In my humble opinion, I enjoyed these shorts. I said that, last week. But again, I'm not going to return to these like I do to the Clone Wars episodes, Rebels episodes, even Bad Batch episodes. And it's just merely a personal preference in what I like animation-wise. And I laid that out last week in terms of kind of what I was raised with, plus just how much I really enjoyed what George and Dave Filoni developed visually in the Clone Wars and how it got better and better every season. I will add, I just finished, I wanted to say this, Star Wars, The High Republic, The Edge of Balance. That's part of the High Republic Publishing Initiative. This one was book one. There's going to be another book, and it can go on. But this was by Justina Ireland, and the other author is Shima Shinya. And I got to say, I really enjoyed the story and the art. And the art in there is by Mizuki, I think it's Saka Kibara. I think I'm getting it right. And it's I believe it's manga. In fact, when I went to go get the book, I actually got it at Barnes and Noble. It wasn't in the Star Wars section. The person there took me over to the manga section, and there it was. And I really liked how Lily Tora, I'm going to block on her last name, Lily Tora, I don't know, I got to look at it. The main Jedi there, I like how her former master Arkov is drawn, a Wookiee, and some of the others. I don't want to say some of the other Jedi are in there because I don't want to spoil anything. It's it's not. It just came out in September, so. Okay. But I wanted to say that again, Aaron and I have talked about some of the stuff we didn't like, but also saying some of the stuff we liked. I really at first initially missed the color. It's all black and white, the drawings. So there's not a color. They show her on the cover with green lightsabers and stuff like that. But inside, when I slowed down and really looked at the art, it really made a difference. And I'll get book 2 when it comes out next year. And so I did want to mention that, I did read that, and that fits in, kind of with this whole anime thing that's been going on here with Visions. And then even Aaron and I were going to briefly mention that we're recording this on October 12th. Emma Candon's book, Ronin, a Visions novel, came out today. If you're listening to this afterwards. It was a few days ago or the day before, but I started that on Audible and already am enjoying it.
Very good, very good, very good. I still haven't picked that up yet. I need to grab that while I'm thinking about it. For me, overall, this series has just been fun. Like I said, anime is not my style. Never has been. I don't know if it ever will be. It's just not. It's not me. But I'm glad I got this exposure to it, and I definitely have a lot of respect for the stories told and the work that went into it, because it's beautiful animation, no doubt. It's a different style, different design, and I really enjoyed it. I will say about these last 5 that we are discussing tonight, this is probably the Ninth Jedi is probably one I will go back to and watch again, because it connected to me that much. So I can't say I'll like I said last week, I probably will just watch these once and never watch them again. I can't say that now, because after watching the Ninth Jedi, I'm blown away, honestly, by how good that one was. So it's definitely one I would come back and not will. I definitely will come back and rewatch. So more power to them. I definitely hope that they plan another wave of these, because it's just a fun, enhanced story. It's different, and like I said, it's not going to be for everybody. But for those who love anime, this is for them, and they love it. And I love the fact that they got something they can love. And I hope that for their sake, I hope we get more. And I hope it all centers around the Ninth Jedi. Because I definitely need more of that. So.
Well said.
Oh, perfect. Well, with that closes out our discussion on Star Wars Visions. If you want to share your thoughts or opinions about Star Wars Visions, you can hit us up anywhere on social media, Facebook and Instagram at SW Reactions, or Twitter at SW Reactions Pod, or of course you can email us anytime, night and day, show at StarWarsReactions.com. David, it's time for Psychology Corner. I'm making up my own ditty as we go.
I like it. Well, I'm going to continue in this Psychology Corner with another of Freud's defense mechanisms. We've been going through them over the last several Star Wars Reactions episodes, and I've been having a lot of fun with them, reading more about them, and then just kind of doing quick synopses and presenting them to our listeners. So this is one that maybe, our listeners and most people around the world know. You've heard of it. Forget about Freud or any defense mechanisms. We've all heard people say this and do this. And it is the defense mechanism called rationalization. And what this is using false, though plausible excuses to justify irrational, unjustified, or unacceptable behaviors. I'm sure, Aaron, that everyone listening has seen different people, different groups, even nations use rationalization to justify their unacceptable behaviors. We'll do a small scale and large scale example and wrap up. But again, just quick synopsis for people. On a small scale, all of us have seen people steal from work because they say, well, it's, quote, it's a large corporation. They make millions, unquote, right? Maybe they do, but it still doesn't justify stealing, whether you're stealing from someone who's poor or someone who has more money. Stealing, right? Don't do it. So the one that we see, on the biggest scale, and it's really tough to think about, but we do this as humans. Again, the imperfections in us. But on a small scale. This is on a big scale. Perhaps the biggest scale is when humans justify killing other humans for many different reasons. An example I give is throughout the history of time, we've seen this kind of statement. This group, these people, they're why we're having problems in our country, right? And it's interesting, Aaron, several years back, a friend of mine, J.D. Steed, and myself and another friend, Courtney, we all go to church together, and we took our youth group down to St. Pete. Now, again, St. Pete, Florida, not too far from Aaron and myself here in FLA, USA. And so we took our youth group down to the Holocaust Museum. And our docent that day, he happened to be Jewish. And he did an incredible job of explaining the Holocaust at the exact right level for our teenage youth group members. Now, he took me aside at the end and he says, look, usually when it's just adults, I take it up a notch and I talk about more of the atrocities because they're adults and they can deal with it. But he did an excellent job. But he, at one point, showed there was 5 different groups of people that Hitler went after, not just Jewish people. But the section that he took us through in that museum, the Holocaust Museum, was number one, here's Hitler blaming, rationalizing, hey, the problems we're having are because of Jewish people. Or number 2, it's because of gypsies. I didn't realize that they were targeted. Number 3, people who are gay or lesbian, they're the problem. Okay, let's put them in the ovens. Next group, if you're mentally handicapped. And then number 5, the 5th group that he targeted, are you physically handicapped? So those are 5 groups of people. Maybe there was more, but at least in this particular Holocaust Museum, it showed background and data behind these 5 groups of people. But again, the rationalization, my problems are because of this person, whether the same color as me or not, or the same nationality or background or religious affiliate, whatever. Those people are the reason for my problem, so let's kill them. And so unfortunately, as humans, we can rationalize. And I've always said this in my professional career to my clients, humans can rationalize any behavior. If you can rationalize killing somebody, you can rationalize anything. And unfortunately, our brains can allow us to do that. But there is rationalization, one of Freud's many defense mechanisms.
Very cool. Very cool. I love that you're going through these defense mechanisms because, it's all things we need to know. So I'm glad you're sharing that with us. If somebody has a question about your Psychology Corner or about Star Wars, then they want to talk to you about it, how would they go about doing that, David?
Yeah, 3 now. With Twitter's never changed. That is at David_Modders, MODDERS. Email is david@starwarsreactions.com. And then there is Instagram. And just like last week, I said I would post more pictures. I did. And then since last episode last week, I posted some more. And so not tons, but again, I said I was going to get better at posting on Instagram. Again, they're all Star Wars related. So if people want to go check that out, they might see a couple pictures about a very cool ride at Galaxy's Edge.
Dun, dun, dun.
But it won't give away anything regarding the rides. So.
No. You're just trying to get a rise out of people.
Oh, excuse the pun. That's very nice, brother.
Touche. It's the dad jokes in me just coming out. So.
Oh no.
It's coming. Are you ready? But if you want to talk Star Wars with me, let me give you my info first before we go into our dad joke of the week. If you want to talk Star Wars with me, best way is Twitter at TAHarris121079 or email me, Aaron@StarWarsReactions.com. All right. If you're ready, David, I have an all-new dad joke of the week for you.
I'm bracing myself.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Get ready to laugh. What did Han Solo say to the waiter who recommended he get the haddock?
All right, Aaron. What did Han Solo say to the waiter who recommended the haddock?
Never tell me the cods.
Oh my! Oh. Even my dog laying next to me just groaned. I don't know if you could hear that on the microphone. That was perfect timing. She's been sleeping the whole time. She hears a joke. Oh,
there's that Aaron again.
Wow. Last week's was actually funny. This is a true dad joke groaner.
That was fun. I like that one. That was good. I got to find a lamer one for next week. So, all right. So we'll see what we can come up with. David, my friend, I have had so much fun this week.
Me too. I hope everyone enjoys this as much as you and I do. And you have a good week, and all of our listeners too.
Absolutely. You too, buddy. Thank you for listening in, everybody. We appreciate each and every one of you. We love y'all. Pray for y'all. Hope y'all are doing well, and pray for the best for each of you. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can email us at show@starwarsreactions.com for our show notes and the latest news from the Star Wars universe. Visit our website at www.starwarsreactions.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWReactionsPod or on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions. If you enjoy our show, please leave a review on iTunes. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.